Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I will never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies then. I should have took a hit before it when it started, but nah, I gotta take one. All right, guys, let's get to it. Welcome to the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and it's Friday, the end of a great week to say the least. And God willing, we got a few more of those weeks down the pike. Today, Spin Doc won't be joining us as he has a few things that he has to take care of. So we've got Conor Mac joining us to talk us some hitting props, as well as the pitchers I'm going to talk. So enough small talk. Let's get to the monies. On this show, we will talk the opening lines of pitching props as well as closing K-prop lines 30 minutes prior to the show going live. So do me a favor, if you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. And if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button as well. First guy we're going to talk about today is Kevin Gausman versus the Guardians, striking people out this year just 23.5%, while walking people elite 5.5% on the year. Morning line 4.5 minus 165 on DK or 4.5 minus 165 on DK or 5.5 at plus money on FanDuel. Best line now is 4.5 minus 165 DK, and they're pretty much all super juiced 4.5s. Pitching outs 18.5 minus 175 juice to the under, whereas earn runs 2.5 minus 120 juice to the under is now at a minus 140. Projected lineup is 7 lefties and 2 righties. Kevin Gausman, guys, gets the Guardians, who over the past 15 days versus right-handed pitching are the Cleveland Indians or Guardians, whatever you want to call them. They've been over the years, guys, one tough cookie to run a K-prop oververse. A place like I like to call a no-fly zone, meaning we cannot fuck around and find out unless we have good reasoning. And at the broad view of these numbers, it sure don't say let's go, as they are walking tops in the league, striking out second least in the MLB at just 17% of their at-bats, with a middle-of-the-pack isolated power. So as always, let's go see who they've seen in that time span that I would bet on, as they've had series with the Angels, Rockies, Marlins, Royals, Nationals, and Reds without seeing green. So yeah, I'm not going to say their numbers are fraudulent, but they ain't played one fucking person that I would go put my money on in that time span. So let's go look at the past history in this spot, guys. Kevin Gausman has seen 3 guys in the top 4 spots with at least 6 at-bats, combining in 36 at-bats, and Juan Ramirez and Naylor, the projected 1, 3, and 4 batters, and he is striking them out 25% of the time. Where it's Ramirez, guys, striking out 24% of the time, Juan 33%, and Naylor at just 8%. So I guess it's not just straight as what it says, but it's saying that Gausman can get 2 of these 3 guys at the top of this lineup. Now, we've got to pay attention, guys, because at the moment of this write-up, we have a juiced 4.5 and FanDuel at 5.5. And I get it. There's no real reason this should be a 5.5. Yet if it stayed at a 5.5, we had something to worry about if we were looking at an under today. Now, the fact that they've all came to an 4.5 super juice to the over, what does this remind you of, guys? This reminds you of what I told you last week about Luzardo. Luzardo, they hung out a 4.5 super fucking juiced. What happened? He ended up with 4 on the day. So what it's telling me right now is it's going to be a tough day for this man to get 5 strikeouts. Now, why is it going to be tough? It's simple, guys. He's striking lefties out 21.5% compared to 29.5% from last season. And the Guardians are projected 7 lefties. So to me, it's not a simple under. I still would look over, but I wouldn't pay the juice. And once they come out with this lineup, I'll look at the fastball split because that's pretty much all he throws to lefties, as he does sprinkle in a slider to righties. And I'll see which guys he can get in this spot because he shows that he can get two of the 4 guys that are tough to get out in this lineup. Now, Jimenez and Naylor are tough, but it opens up at the back end of this lineup now, guys. And the fact that he's got a 24% strikeout rate and 33 versus Quan, it means there's action here, guys. So I do not think that this is a super easy under, but yet I don't know if I have the balls to bet Kevin Gausman. Now, I will be the first one to tell you, I've had problems with him this year, guys. You know, every time I tend to bet this guy, he goes out and pitches a fucking gym and has 3 strikeouts. So I go and look at his analytics. Like, I've been tracking him all year, and they were off. They were off bad at 2 to 3 inches on his well, it wasn't his horizontal, it was his other break, that his side to side break. It was off. But now when I look at it 3-4 weeks later, because I haven't looked at Gausman in a while, it's almost as up there to where he has been, guys. And if Gausman's up there to where he has been, this is not going to be a super easy under, as this lineup does fall off a cliff when it compares to strikeouts after you get past Naylor, especially the way that this is set up, where Jimenez is in the top 4, because Jimenez is a tough pitch as well. I normally don't get to see the chat, but I just saw Big Show fucking head pop up. What's up, my fucking boy? I don't get to see you that much anymore, as you used to run my show for me, and I appreciate it because it is a lot harder doing shit by myself. And I know you got a baby boy, but it's good seeing you in here, my guy. Next guy on the board, guys, is it wouldn't be a day without talking pitching props if we didn't talk us a little Christopher Allen Sale. Chanat. And he gets his shot at the Rays, striking people out this year 31.5% of the time, while walking people just 3.5%. Morning line was 7.5 plus 110 on FanDuel. Best line available right now is minus 110 to that 7.5 on BetMGM. Pitching outs 18.5 minus 210 juice to the under, where his earned runs are at a 1.5 minus 165 juice to the over. Projected lineup is 9 righties and 0 lefties. It's good old Sale day, guys, as he gets the Rays, who over the last 200 plate appearances versus lefties are not walking, striking out 24% of the time with a middle-of-the-pack isolated power. Now let's go see who they've seen in that time span, as they've actually had 200 at-bats in the last 15 days, which is rare. As they seen Steele last night, who went 6 innings, no earned runs with 5 strikeouts, and I had him for 5.5, but I don't see him as a dog, and I let him be. And it happened. He ended on 5. They blitzed Braxton Garrett, guys. He went 2.2 innings, gave up his butt cheeks, and had just 3 strikeouts. While also Jesus Luzardo got blasted, going just 4.1 innings, giving up 9 earned runs while striking out just 2. Then they had a series with the Orioles and A's, guys, who don't got a lefty I'd look to bet. So for a team with a middle-of-the-pack isolated power, they blasted 2 of my 3 guys. And for a team only striking out 24%, who the fuck have they been striking out to? Because Luzardo didn't get him, Steele didn't get him, and Braxton Garrett didn't get him. Now, I'm not going to say any of those 3 guys are on the level of Mr. Sale. And Christopher Sale is one of them dudes. And we know this guy was a Red Sox for about 5 years. I mean, granted, he only played 1.5 years of that 5-year contract. But what I was saying is he's seen these Rays a few times. So let's go check it out, guys. As I had to go batter by batter real quick. Like, if I was going to read you the K percentage, it would be super fraudulent. And this is why. There's only 4 guys in this projected lineup that have seen Sale at least 5 or more times. As Yandy Diaz, leadoff hitter, the guy C-Mac, who's not even on the screen right now or in the bottom part. I'd be surprised if he does not give out this bet today, because this is something I've learned from him years ago. And Yandy Diaz versus a lefty. He actually hits Chris Sale at over a 400 clip and has only struck out 2 of his 20 at-bats. He's going to be leading off. Now, the guy behind him, Arozarena, he struck out damn near half of the 12 times he's seen him, with Paredes striking out 2 of 5. Walls is also in this projected lineup, and in his 8 at-bats versus Sale has 0 strikeouts. Now, I say it's kind of skewed because it's going to be 2 guys striking out and 2 guys not, but the 2 guys not striking out have had a lot of at-bats, and it's going to bring it down a lot. So there's really not much to take in other than Diaz going to be a bitch to strike out, and it says Walls is. But when I go look at Walls and what he whiffs at, and he whiffs at every fucking thing Chris Sale freaking throws. So it's about time that Walls goes down and Paredes doesn't. Now, Paredes has struck out 2 of his 5 at-bats. I'll be the first to tell you 5 at-bats just ain't enough for me, guys. Like, it could just be a good day or from a batter, bad day from a batter. It's just not enough. Now, if they've struck out 4 of their 6 at-bats, that's something I'll pay attention to. It's bad. If they've gotten hits on 4 of their 5 at-bats, okay, that's something to pay attention to. But that, for me, it's just not enough to put too much in. When I look at the numbers, it says Paredes going to be tough. It says Diaz going to be a bitch. Other than that, guys, he's got action. And when I do the simple math breakdown, guys, I've got this guy for 7.5 on a bad day. And Chris Sale, how many bad days does this guy have? Now, the problem why I haven't pulled the trigger, and I always need to see lineups and stuff, is it's 93 degrees in Atlanta today, guys. And I'm not too far from Atlanta. I'm like 2.5, 3 hours, bro. It's 95 out here. And it is brutal. The humidity in Atlanta right now is 80% with 93 degrees. Now, strikeouts do not correlate with runs, but if Chris Sale's giving up a few freaking bomber slongers, man, and getting hit, they're not going to let him go that long. And I really don't know how he pitches in humidity. The fact that I've got him for 7.5 on a bad day, when I just do simple math, I've got to look to run it if this is the lineup I get, as I'll run one of my guys at a -110, or they were offering plus money. That's a pick-em price on a stud where I've got him on a bad day. So I am looking to bet Sale once these lineups come out. But like I said, I would be very surprised if this guy doesn't talk about the guy that I talked about, because he put me on him and it's made me a lot of money. But without further ado, guys, if you like what you're hearing, do me a favor and smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button as well. Now we're at the part of the show, guys, where we're going to go talk us some hitting props. And it's just not any hitting props, guys. We get to jack us some WWE clips and have us the $1 million segment with Conor Mac. What up, my dude?
What up? What up? What up?
I just talked little Chris Sale. I know nothing of what you're going to give out, but I was telling him in the middle of that I think you're going to be on a guy in this game, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, I just heard you in the back. Price isn't right.
Nope.
Sharpie for me. Not that it's bad.
They know it. They know it, huh?
They know it.
Okay.
It's at even money, -105, depending. Plus 105. I loved it too. You know me, backing him versus the lefty. I love it when the tide's going to change. Maybe it's going to be next month. You know, this Braves team with Acuna out, Olsen struggling. When's this offense going to get going? You mentioned it being hot. You know, can we finally get runs? Because I think you just keep kicking their under for the most part. These teams are a little bit traveled early. That's what I was looking at in this one. But you talked about it. It's hot a little bit. Wind's not real mattering, but yeah, definitely warm.
It's hot and humid out there today, man. It's dude, I step outside and I don't even want to smoke a cigarette, bro. It's like, oh, fuck this.
Right back in.
Yeah, and I'm only 2.5 hours from there, so
yeah.
I can't wait to go to a Dodgers playoff game there in all Dodger blue.
I love to be there with you.
I'll do the tomahawk shit too with those fucks, bro. I'm here for the time, baby.
Hell yeah. I love it.
Well, let's get into some hitting props, bro. I appreciate you for coming on in this Friday. I know you're a busy man.
Oh, thanks for having me. I got, regular spin doc. Couldn't make it. You know me, I always am down to talk hitting procs, Sharpie. And if I got the time, like you hit me up, I definitely want to be on. And we've been great on the show. I shot you that the other day, just going back. I think the first week we lost just like a unit, but Wednesdays have been money. The Jacks maybe not as crazy, been okay, but and would have hit Marte almost 10-1 on Wednesday too, which would have been nice with Starling Marte. But yeah, we've been banging every Wednesday we've been on. But we got the big card here today. Shout out to everyone here. Big show. Dude, it's good to see you. Dana Doubt, my man. Great to see you cover Kings. Derek, Joe Free. Appreciate it, my man. Thanks, my dude. Steve, what's going on? Hunter Brown. Are you going to talk about that game later? I'm going to get that at the end here.
About Scooble, yeah. But
okay.
Brown, actually, he's turned the corner, bro. All of his pitch mix was down for the first month and a half. The kid's back, bro. He's back to what we're used to seeing last year. We can't say the first 6-7 weeks and be like, well, he didn't. No, watch him. The kid's got some nasty shit again. It's breaking the way it should be.
He is back. Okay, one sec. I got a little bit of a freeze. Okay, hold on. That's okay. No matter. Let's get right to it. My number one guy here today. A's, Twins. This guy's finally gotten red hot. He's made me a ton of money. I haven't took him really all year long. I took him the other day. I know our guy Tone loves this guy. Carlos Correa, just ripping the baseball. Sharpie, 4 of 5 multi-hit games, 3-5-2, 1-3. He's just been lacing at 6 of 8 with 2 or more hits. And in the projected lineup, we're waiting on this because this is when we do the show. Like they always have him in the 2-hole. But for the most part, lately, he's been in the 5-hole, right there, 5 or 6. I love that for him. So go back to the 1.5, but he's getting these RBIs like crazy. And I'll talk about that later. Actually, I'll just talk about it a little bit right now. It was a little bit like Marte the other day. He had just been getting so many extra base hits and 2-hit games, and his 1.5 was plus 160. His RBI was plus 200. I went with the 1.5. But for the most part, if you keep going back to it, I've cashed both, where you got the RBI and no hit on a sac fly or whatever, or walk, or you've gotten the double and now cashed you the over 1.5. I just think the price is a lot better, obviously, with the RBIs, and in certain situations, depending on the hitter and what you're looking at, not in all of this. So that always goes into it. But I'll take his RBI here, plus 170, red hot, plus 550. Medina, I don't think he's very good. I think he gives up some runs early, and I'm on him first.
All right, my guy, Carlos Correa, RBI in the hole, sprinkle the home run.
Yeah, plus 575. Yeah, definitely. Let's go to San Francisco, to the Bay. Guys pitch great. Former Dodger, Anderson. It's starting to show, though, how good he's pitched. He's 5-6 ERA, below 3. And he's giving it up. He should have gave up more runs in that Yankee game. I was on that under, but he slid by it. Last game, he gave up 4. Solid pitcher, but this is a tough spot on the road. Giants been pretty good against lefties, right around 10th, or, depending on what metric you want to look at, OPS, all that good stuff, slugging. And I love this guy, Sharpie, 7 for 14 lifetime with a home run. Wilmer Flores here. I got RBI plus 175. And I know it's a night game there, but you got to put it on his jack, plus 650. Hits lefties, 303. This year he's only hit 240, 203, 240 against lefties, like 208 or 203 against righties. We know that, but this is his bread and butter, and he could be hitting 3. We don't know the lineup, 3, 4, 5. He's going to be right there. So Wilmer Flores, RBI plus 175, the jack plus 650. I got to go here to this guy, Willie Adames. Let's go to Milwaukee.
Before we talk Adames, quick thing on Anderson I picked up last year. When he starts off 0-1, he's got a batting average below 200 against. If he goes 1 ball, 0 strikes, it goes up to like 389 versus the guy. The Giants are one of the top 5 most patient teams in baseball. They make you throw strikes. They do not swing in the zone. They take first pitches for the most part. they're good. You go down to some of these guys, man. Like you said, Wilmer Flores has given us nightmares as Dodger fans. So the guy hits lefties. It's like Christian Walker. It's just like they're just dudes that hit lefties. And if you don't know, you should know. And I like that little spot.
Yeah, I mean, he had it last week. I wasn't on it. I forget. And then he came back and hit 2 home runs. Kind of cooled off the last 5 days here. But I love it here. Seen a bunch off Anderson, here against the Dodgers or the Rockies.
He's a good soft toss hitter, bro. I mean, Kershaw don't hit above 92. Anderson ain't hitting above 92.
No, so I love it. All right, there. I'm going to Willy Adames here. All or nothing here. He's 3 for 12, 2 jacks. He hit one just the other day. I think this was a game where Montas, he's looked really good. And I've liked how he's looked, but I think he could get hit today by the Brewers. We know what the Brewers do, Sharpie. They hit righties and hit them hard. Kind of an all or nothing with him. But the RBI plus 155, and I took his jack plus 475. Like I said, 3 for 12, 2 bombs off him in that one. And let's go to Coors Field.
What was the
this game? Home run plus 475.
Okay.
For Adames. Coors here. Big one. McMahon, Tovar, Diaz is day-to-day with the hamstring. I want to look at those guys that waited on the lineup. I might have something there. Tovar's been my good secret a little bit last year, and this year, kid's just raking. I think really he could be a 300 hitter, hit 25 home runs, especially in Colorado. So I love him. But I'm going the other side here, and my guy Reynolds has been great all year. Right after I took him, I missed the other day. 2 days ago, he cashed right away with RBI, I believe, yesterday. And he's 2 for 6 with 2 doubles off Feltner. But I got to go to this guy. I took him one time, Sharpie. I think it was the first week or second week I was with you on this show. The guy's finally hitting. It's not great, but his average is up, I don't know, to 215 or 220. Rowdy, Tellez, 5 for 9. He's got 4 doubles off Feltner. He only has 2 home runs. This would be a perfect spot for him to go yak, to go jiggity jack. He's finally, swinging a little bit better bat. And since that day, I haven't used him at all. So RBI plus 165 off Feltner. He's going to probably hit 7th today, 6th or 7th. And the jacks plus 550. I think this one could cash here.
Bro, you're calling a guy's 3rd fucking home run of the season.
Yes.
Bro. I hope this so happens. This is legendary shit.
Yeah, I love it there with him today. I love how he's been swinging the bat. The other day he came in and got a hit, and then he went over, but been swinging a better bat of late. And I like the numbers off Feltner. No homer, but 5 for 9, 4 doubles. I love that. And there could be runs there. We know Feltner's at home, but there should be some. That's a not crazy light wind blowing out, 75 degrees. That's perfect there in Colorado. Whatever. We'll see if we get a bunch of runs, but I think we at least get some there with the Rockies back at home. At least. All right, to my last few, I'm going to hit here. This one, I'm going to go with it here. There's multiple things I want to look at this game, and it's Skubal. That's what we talked about with the Astros. They've got him. He's just a different pitcher, but this seems like one of the maybe tougher spots of the year for him, and maybe it's not. He's that dominant right now. It's just like he's due for a little bit of a bad start. I believe he had one with the Royals. And was that at home, Sharpie?
Royals
I had that.
His numbers, though, bro.
They've had his number.
But
Astros a little bit.
Yeah, until this year.
Yeah, until this year. But they've had his number a little bit. Diaz has been great. I've been on him a little bit. I love Pena here. This was one that was tough. He's 3 for 5 with a homer off him, and he just eats lefties. Love where he's at. But this one could be the sucker bet a little bit. Jordan, right here. His over 1.5 plus 135. I went with that. The RBI, I think it goes hand in hand, but just in case Skubal pitches well, just one swing or big double with him, I think he gets it. So I just went with the over 1.5. The RBI is like plus 180, but I went with the over 1.5 at plus 135. And when I see this guy over 4-1, Sharpie, I got to take. And I got plus 440 with his homer. So I'm on it. And he had pretty good numbers, off Skubal as well. And we know one thing with his splits, it doesn't matter. Righty, lefty, he loves lefties. His numbers are even better against lefties. And he's been red hot this year, but even the last few years they haven't been awful. He said
9.5K percentage versus lefties lifetime, bro. He sucked ass versus lefties striking him out.
early. Yeah,
Throughout the
yeah,
run.
yeah.
He couldn't strike lefties out. He would dominate versus them, but this
Yeah.
is the first year he's ever struck lefties out. It trips me
Well,
out.
it's showing. Yeah, it's showing. But Jordan hits lefties, so we'll get to that. These are the last two. This is kind of I didn't bet it, but as you had put, the titty capper play of the day, as I always like to throw out when you have that Sharpie, is I've cashed with it the last few days. I had Gurriel. I didn't have Christian Walker. That's a big. He's had 3 home runs the last 2 days, which was huge. But I had a little I had Jock last night. I had him the day before, it didn't come through, and I go, this is a perfect match. This is another one for him. His RBI is plus 140. His Jack's only like 340. I'm just putting that out there. And then Walker's RBI plus 125, and he's 3 for 4 with a home run off Flexen here. And Flexen, the softball, it's more. Both guys are great. I like Walker a little bit lefty, but he's red hot. And we know Jock, this is another guy, home run. I thought it was last night. A soft tossing righty, Jogger, a nice little 90-mile heater. Jock takes you deep. He had grand slam last night. So look at those guys. A little low for me, but I love them. And there's one guy late. It's just not an offensive game. I had the under last night, Sharpie, and that's in Seattle. They dead last against lefties. I talked about it. Crochet dominated. Mitch Haniger here, but I'm not betting this. This is one that's just got my attention. A lone guy that's hit. Ty France is out. Julio's been swinging a better bat of late. He might be a good look. And this is kind of like a solo Jack. They might not score a ton of runs, and I don't expect it. And I don't know. There's some good numbers. But Haniger here, 8 for 25. He's hitting, 368, 3 doubles, or a couple doubles and 3 homers off Heaney. So sees him very well. He should be hitting 4 or 5. So this one had my attention because I don't know if there's a ton of runs, but you know how he hits lefties too. And I saw those numbers. They jumped off the page. So I could be on that late.
For the most part, I've noticed with Seattle is they tend to get the guys they normally get. Like, I'll stay away from Framer Valdez because more often than not, Seattle pops them. Even when they're not hitting lefties. And Heaney is like that too, bro. Like, I am not looking to go in the division versus a team that has shown they can hit you. I don't care how bad they are.
Yeah. And Cal Raleigh's been good of late. He's just a guy, though, hit or miss. He's a big home run guy, but he hits 220. Like I said, France is out. But I think Haniger, that's the one that's caught my eye a little bit. Maybe more. He was 6 for 16. It's tough when a team doesn't score.
They're batting more in the two-hole lately now too versus lefties with Rodriguez behind him. So
behind him, he's got to hit third. He just hit him third.
He's got too much swing and miss to be in the 2 or 1 hole, man.
Yeah. I just hit him third because when he gets hot, we know how good a player he is. That's where you want him. And you mentioned it, the swing and miss. But when he gets rolling, so he's been hot lately. And looking Haniger, and I could be on that late. I haven't bet. I'm not going to give a bunch of shit, and we haven't seen lineups too. So I love to see. I'm like you. As much as that is with pitching, I like to see that with hitter props late. I love the umpires. I'm waiting on a ton of umps too. I always love to look at that. If we're gonna get runs.
One thing I learned from Spin Doc too. If it's the first base umpire the night before of the same series,
it is.
The next day, they're home plate.
They're behind the dish. So if you want to go do all that takes a minute though. That's exactly right. I've known that for years. Yeah, first to home the next day. But yeah, so if you just want to go through that game, or like I have to go through them all, you can do that without.
Or you have a friend that you call and be like, "Hey, bro, who's behind the dish today?"
Yeah. Or just do that. Yeah, but he's got to go through each guy. You got to know who's on first that day because they'll be behind the dish the next.
And then a new series jumbo, you can't guess on a new series. And
series, you don't know what's going on. You got to wait. So I'm waiting on that. I love the Twins. Correa, obviously, that's probably my top one. I'll post these too, like I have been. I'll put it out on X for everyone out there. Let's get it. I think we cash a few of these big tonight. On a few more props, but I love it. Friday night. I think we get some runs in some of these games, baby. Thanks for having me. Shout out to everyone.
Let them know where they can find you, bro. And thank you for coming, as always.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. I always want to come talk hitter props like I talked about, as always. Just Conor Mac picks. Check me out here, there, everywhere. I have some stuff coming down the pipeline too. I'll hit it with you if I'm on the next few weeks once I know some stuff's going down. And check me out. I appreciate it. Old D, Justin, my guys, I really appreciate it. Derek, thanks. Have a good one,
sir.
Sharp.
Welcome back, guys, to the Balking Dead. We're going to talk us a little bit of who, what, where. Not your mom, but I am waiting on freaking lineups, guys, for Chris Sale. We did talk us some Gosman as that Super Juice 4.5. You might want to check out that write-up on him. Right now, I need lineups, of course, but I've got Sale pegged for 7.5 on a bad day, and that juice that they've got him hanging at, and his name being Christopher Allen Sale, means that you give me that lineup and I will get in there like swimwear. Another person I'm waiting on their lineups for is their boy Freddie Peralta versus the Reds. Striking people out this year 31.5%, while walking people just 9%. Pretty much right around league average. Morning line was 7.5 plus 116 on FanDuel, where the best line available is minus 106 to that 7.5 on DraftKings. Is pitching out 17.5 minus 130 juice to the over, whereas earn runs 1.5 minus 135 juice to the over is where it opened. Now it's at a pick 'em at a minus 115. Projected lineup is 6 lefties and 3 righties. Peralta gets the Reds, who over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitching are walking right around league average, striking out 25% of their at-bats with a top 6 isolated power. So let's go see who they've seen in that time span that I'd bet on. Tristan McKenzie, guys, ain't been right all year. Haven't looked to bet him all year except the first game, and then I realized, like, oh, he's wrong. He went 5.2 innings, gave up 2 runs, had only 4 strikeouts. But I did bet Tanner Bybee, guys, where we cashed him at plus money early in the morning. He went 5.1 innings, had himself an 11-piece mixed strider. Then 2 series with the Cubs, 1 versus the Rockies, all who don't have a right-handed pitcher I would bet on. So yeah, guys, I'd say these numbers are a tad bit fraudulent, as should be worse, as the only dog they've seen was Bybee, and we know what he did. So this should be an easy bet for us, yeah? No. Not saying it's an under spot, guys, as it's over or nothing here. It's just this projected lineup doesn't have what I like to use with Freddie P. Well, I like to use 2 things. It doesn't have one of the things, guys, and that is chase. If we look through this lineup, guys, we're only going to have 2 guys in this projected lineup that chases. But with Freddie Peralta being in the 91st percentile of whiff, we have another way to look at the guy. So let's go through this shit right here, guys, as let's talk probably my favorite spot on the board today if we get this lineup. So the past history says Freddie P to the moon. As the guys who don't chase, only Stevenson doesn't strike out to this man, as he has only punched out 1 of his 8 at bats. Now, Friedel, India, De La Cruz, and Benson, as well as Steer, have at least 3 at bats. They don't chase and have struck out Peralta at a 42% clip in 38 plate appearances. Now, I don't like to take in 6 or less unless it's drastic, as it could have been a bad game or so. Now, there are 2 guys who don't chase in India and Friedel who have 13 at-bats, with the lowest K percentage of the 2 being 30%. So most of this past history, guys, did come in a game last year where Peralta went 6 innings with 13 punch-outs. A bonus to anybody like me wanting this over, guys, is Peralta is at home. And not just this year, guys, but last year as well, he has had at least a 7% higher strikeout rate at home than on the road. We talk about the electricities the fans give you on 2 strikes. This man gets 40,000 people standing up on 2 strikes asking for death. He likes to reward them with a strikeout. So I get it, guys, if you've already bet the over, but I've got to check the math on the whiff percentage, as we've seen that these guys don't chase. And I want to make sure this lineup doesn't have Espanol in it. He is one bitch to any K prop, and not just projected in the lineup as of now, but still I want to see it. Peralta throws fastball slider to righties, fastball slider change to lefties. As just on whiff alone, guys, I have Peralta for 7.5. And with him at home where he's 7% better, we multiply 7.5 by 7%. And we get a half of a strikeout, guys. That is 8 on a bad day. and they're offering us plus to straight up even money on this man. Now, is the line right, guys? And that's where we got to go check out, guys, and look. And that's where I don't want to ever fall into a pair of man tits. Now, do man titties catch? Yes. But I still don't want to be going up against what the books are asking for. And this man, guys, has been a 7.5, 3 of his last 10 games, or 4 of his last 10 games. And he's only 1-3 to the over, guys. And this line's right. That's what I'm getting at. There's no funky shit in here. So I need lineups. I don't want to see Espanol in it, or I'll just probably have to let it be. But the lineup projected right now with these 9, I'm ready to get in, as I've got them for 8 on a bad day. And even money? Oh boy. Shout out to the chat, guys. If you like what you're hearing, do me a favor and smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button as well. Now we get to talk us some Tarek Skubal at the Astros, striking people out 31% of the time while walking people just 5% on the year. Morning line, 6.5 plus 125 on BetMGM, where the best line to that 6.5 now is still on MGM, but at plus 120. Pitching out's 18.5 minus 200 juice to the under. It's now minus 175 juice to the under. Earned runs are at a 1.5 minus 165 juice to the over. Projected lineup is 7 righties, 2 lefties. That was with Abreu in it. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 6 righties and 3 lefties today with Singleton coming in for Abreu. Tarek Skubal, guys, gets the Astros, who over the last 200 plate appearances versus lefties are the Astros. They're in no-fly zone when running a K-prop versus lefties unless we have a good reason. As they're not walking, striking out just 13% of their at-bats, yet not hitting for the life of them with a bottom 8 isolated power. So let's go see who they've seen in that time span. As Kyle Harrison went 6 innings, gave up 1 run, had only 3 strikeouts. Then they've seen the Angels, the Mariners, and Twins, all who have lefties I wouldn't bet on. So they're not hitting the guys who I wouldn't even bet on. And now you get Tarek motherfucking Skubal? As they seen him early in the year, guys, and Skubal dropped a box of Scooby snacks on him, went 6.1 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, and punched out 7 in Detroit. I say that, guys, because we're in Houston, and now we've got a wet infield where if you watch this show, you know what I'm talking about. We are halfway through the season almost. I don't need to explain Philadelphia and Houston's wet ground advantage to a ground ball pitcher. And when we look at Skubal's ground ball percentage, guys, he is 2.5% better than league average. Now, when I go check the numbers of the Astros from May 11th, they're close to what they are now. Not walking, striking out 19% of the time with a middle-of-the-pack isolated power. Now, this was with Tucker in the lineup. So let's go check the past history, guys. Is this projected lineup? We have 5 guys who have seen Skubal at least 5 at-bats with upwards of 16 and 46 at-bats. And Skubal has a decent 26% strikeout rate versus them. Now, Yordan only struck out 2 of his 9, yet Skubal is not the same guy he has been as until he is this year. His slider decided to be a fucking sword, guys, as his K percentage last year versus lefties was 9.5%. This year, he has a same 31% across the board, whether it's lefties or righties. So when I look at the whiff versus pitch mix, guys, I will take that into consideration, as I know you can get Yordan with the slider. And when we look at what he throws to lefties, it's only sinker ball slider. So definitely we'll be looking at this guy's over today. Now, when we looked at that K percentage, that did have Abreu in it, but even when you looked at Abreu's numbers, he struck out 25% of his at-bats. So it's over or nothing, guys, in a spot where it's normally a no-fly zone. And the fact that we've got a ground ball pitcher, we can look for him to go longer. Now, I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I don't know if I want to pull his outs, if I want to pull his strikeouts down with the earned runs down, or if I just want to take the team total of the Astros under, as they're not hitting bum lefties. They only got 2 runs off of Skubal when they were hitting middle of the pack with Kyle Tucker in the lineup. Now they're hitting bottom 8. No Kyle Tucker. Just lost Abreu. But they've got Bregman, Altuve, and Yordan. Altuve and Bregman both strike out over 30% or 27% plus to this man, guys. He can get all of the top 3 of the top 4 guys and the back half opens up. So what's crazy and you would think is under or nothing is actually over or nothing. I just don't know if I'm going to same game parlay them or if I'm going to take a team total under or is outs over at the plus money. As a ground ball pitcher in a ground ball park with nasty strikeout stuff to a team not walking. It just says they're going to be putting the ball in play or striking the fuck out. So I look for those double plays to be there with Scooble, and I look for those hard hit ground balls to be outs because it's Houston. So I get it if you're backing Scooble today. As yeah, this ain't the Astros, guys. Yeah, they're striking out 13%. I won't say it's super faulty, but then again, what's faulty is they're not hitting. They ain't seen one fucking lefty I'd really go look to bet a K-prop on. Now they've seen Kyle Harrison, but how much I've taken more unders on Kyle Harrison than overs this year. Okay. Now, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. And that dude still went 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run. So I expect Scooble to go out there and do at least that, if not better. So I may be looking at the Astros team total under 1.5, probably first 5. Call me crazy, and I know everybody bets the Astros team total over versus lefties, but I bet you're losing a lot of money with that lately if they're hitting a .08 isolated power. I mean, bet your team totals ain't looking too good. So that's why I'm not a trend better, and I'll bet my dudes in spots where I could see them shining, and this is a spot where I expect Scooble to go out and shine. Now, can the strikeouts still not be there? Yes, as this is a team for the most part, runs about 4 or 5 guys who really do make elite chase contact. But still, he's a fastball sinker ball pitcher, guys. And being a sinker ball pitcher, that's his ground ball pitch. And when he needs that ground ball, he can go out and get it. And when we got a team not walking, that means his pitch count's going to be kept in check. So definitely look at backing Scooble in some type of way. As Phillies, Marlins, please cuck this fucking moron. Boop, 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 boop. Spin Doc sent me a message, bro. Sorry, guys. Somebody's a fucking cuck ass moron. And it's probably Caruso, guys. Because if you're fading Caruso from ESPN's bets, you're making money. He is strictly a trend better. And you don't want to be that dude. You don't. Now, I'll bet sometimes the guys that they bet, don't get me wrong, but when I'm against him and when Spin Doc's been against him, I think we're like 100% win rate right now. Like, and he's taking minus 192 sometimes, and we're stuck with the plus monies, and we're still hitting off of him. That's what we're getting. There's no way Zuckin is getting so Skeens. Skeens got a little lucky. We'll give him that. But we'll take that one, right, guys? If you were on him, you'll take the Pirates manager being one of the biggest boneheads in baseball to cash that 7.5 on Skeens. If you didn't know, Skeens was done, was told he was done. But the Pirates manager forgot to call the bullpen or have the bullpen called. So no one was warmed up. So Skeens had to come out for another batter to get this guy warmed up. And what did Skeens do? He rewarded you fuckers who bet that 7.5. And that's what we like to see, guys, is guys who are dogs, guys who are told, hey, dude, you're done. They mentally let go, and they're still able to fucking come in and throw their nuts down. That's a beast right there, guys. Like, that's a beast. And you know who else is a beast? The Cole motherfucking Ragans. Yeah. Let me take this hit before we get into Cole Ragans. Cole Ragans at the Dodgers, guys, striking people out 30% of the time while walking people just 7.5%. Morning line was 5.5 minus 140, where the best line available is 5.5 minus 160, as they're refusing to budge off that 5.5. Pitching out 17.5 minus 165, juice to the over. Earned runs 2.5 minus 165, juice to the under. My projected lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties for my Doyers. Ragans, guys, gets a crack at the Dodgers, who over the last 193 plate appearances versus lefties, as I had to go back a whole month just to get 193 and won't ever go past 30 days, and the Dodgers are not walking, yet only striking out 19.2% of the time, with having a isolated power out of the stratosphere versus lefties. So let's go see who they've seen in that time span that I would bet on, guys, as Nestor Cortez went 5.1 innings, gave up 4 runs, and had just 4 strikeouts. They had a series with the Pirates, the Rockies, Mets, Rangers, and Diamondbacks, all once again who don't have a lefty I would bet on. And then they seen the Reds twice, guys, as they didn't see Lodolo, let alone Abbott, who I wouldn't even look to run a K-prop versus the Dodgers with, but I still would have at least looked with Lodolo. So it's hard to say these numbers are real with the Dodgers, guys, as, okay, they hit Nestor Cortez. Yet other than that, they beat up on middle of the pack to the end of the rotation type of lefties. Yet this is one reason we get a 5.5 on Ragans today. As no, it's not a trap. I have seen 5.5 juice to minus 150 at a 70% win rate. If they 7 out of 10, minus 150, they are saying Dodgers have a 19% strikeout rate versus lefties, and they're also seeing something else, guys. And what else is I'm talking about, guys, is he's been a 5.5 3 other times, and that was the Padres and the Blue Jays twice. He is 2-1 to the over, with one of them being a rain out. So really, guys, you got your money back if you bet the under or over on that day. I was on the Barrios under that day, and he had a back-to-back with them and came back and clacked them, as well as hitting the over versus the Padres where he had just 6. Now, the thing, though, that I did notice with this, guys, is teams that make good zone contact and good chase contact have been the times that they haven't hit, as he's faced the Orioles twice where he had 4 one time, 7 the other. And then he had 5 versus the Astros, who are a good zone contact and chase contact team. Now, something, guys, I picked up on this man, guys, is it's obvious if you look at his splits, but his struggles. He struggles versus his own side of the plate. And he isn't striking out, as he's striking out righties 32% of the time, compared to just 19% from the left-handed side. As well as just not striking them out, lefties are crushing him, as lefties are 140 points better than batting average against, 100 points higher when it comes to on-base percentage, and 150 points higher when it comes to slugging. And the Dodgers, for the most of the year, have been sending out 3 lefties, yet today they only have 2 projected. And he does have good numbers versus Ohtani, one of the lefties that he has seen. And it's the only person in this lineup that he has seen, as he struck him out 25% of his 8 at-bats, and Ohtani's batting just $143. So I get it, guys, if you are on the over. As I'm going to tell you, guys, I might have to take a stab at that 6.5, and I may have to take a little stab at like a baby ladder when it comes to it. Now, I don't believe these Dodgers numbers are real. I'm a Dodger fan. Now, if they go out and blast Cole Ragans today, I might give them a little bit of credit. One thing my team has struggled with throughout the years is high velocity. The other thing my team has struggled with is left-handed pitching. If you have high velocity left-handed pitcher, you have destroyed my fucking team. As the Dodgers get to the playoffs every year, right? Right, because their bats are great. And we usually have like a middle of the rotation type of guy. Now we got Glasnow and Yamamoto, and both of those guys are playoff type pitchers because they throw above 95, 96 with Glasnow at 97. You need high velo in the playoffs. You need strikeouts. You need dominating. My team this year has struggled versus high velocity. Hunter Green went 6 innings both games back to back. First time he did get himself 7. Granted, different type of side of pitcher, but a high velo type of guy. He ain't a lefty. My team has struggled with lefties horrendously throughout the years. Now, this hasn't been the same team. I will give you that. We did get Ohtani, and we did get Teoscar Hernandez. Ohtani struck out 25% of his at-bats to him, only hitting $143. And yeah, Teoscar can hit a home run, but Teoscar also has a lot of swing and miss in him as well. So I get it if you're on the over. I may take a half unit type shot on it because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not paying juice for it. I believe this guy comes out and just freaking dicks down the Dodgers and has 8-9 tonight, or he ends up with 5 or less. So I don't believe in paying juice for a spot where he ain't getting it or he's going off. And the Dodgers just haven't shown to me yet that they can go up versus a playoff pitcher from the left-handed side. And this right here is a playoff number 1. if we were going to go to the playoffs. Nestor Cortez is starting the third game if Garrett Cole's there, guys. Like, let's be realistic. He ain't that dude you're sending to the first game. Cole Ragans is starting first game for a lot of motherfucking teams right now, guys. This dude is that dude. He does have a problem striking out lefties, and they do have Freeman, Ohtani in our 2-3 hole. But he's shown he can get them 25% of the time. So, like Toronto, guys, and it did hit before his strikeouts. I mean, when you have a team that does make good zone contact and good chase contact, you think a dude's a stud, you look to bet his outs, guys. And I know his outs are super juiced, but might be his outs pulled down the 5 if your book lets you parlay those type of things. Very few books actually let you do the outs with the strikeouts. I've only learned MGM, but MGM don't let you alt. So is what it is. I'm not looking to go under or don't think it's an under spot. I don't think it's as easy as a 19.2 striking out to lefties, and the Dodgers ain't allowed 7 strikeouts, let alone fucking 6 and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I mean, I would like to see how they are versus what I consider a true number 1. Now, I mean, I wish he could strike out lefties. You know, you would think a real lefty could dominate lefties, but you know, and the fact that they're hitting him harder too does worry me a little bit. You know, like, do they let him see him the third time through if they crack him both times? I don't know. He does have good past history, but 96 average on a velo with a nasty changeup slider combo. Man, I want to see what the Dodgers do to this. Okay, you've been hitting bums. Can you really hit Cole Ragans? That's what I want to see. So I am waiting for lineups, guys. I'm going to look to run Peralta over today, Chris Sale over today, as well as maybe a half unit shot on Ragans pulled up to the plus money, depending on how many lefties they do send out there. And yeah, I may look to the team total under as well, depending on in the Astros or Dodgers spot, as I do got a good ROI when I'm betting team totals. Not the best betting first 3s, first 5s. When I'm asking for 2 people to do their jobs, that's not my best thing to be doing. It's just like, you know what? If you think a guy's gonna shine, he's gonna shine. And Crochet, I mean, was I a vagina and pulled him down last night to 7 and hooked him to the team total under? Yeah, but I knew they weren't gonna hit this man, and God, I got fucking saved by the grace of the Lord. Thank you, baby Jesus. Ow, over freaking extra innings, bro. Extra innings, bro. I knew it, too, in a 2-1 game. I was like, dude, this is stupid. It's just any given moment. That home run's coming. Bottom of the 9th, that home run came. But White Sox closed it out in the 10th. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Smash that like button if you like what you're hearing. Spin Doc was not able to make it today. He had a big appointment for his kid's college that he's going to and or looking to go to. So he will be back next week. And until next time, guys, stay out of trouble. May God bless you and your families. And let's have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful betting weekend. As I got to go slave and make pizzas tonight. And it's 100 degrees outside.
Buy a boy a baseball, get him outside, get his hands dirty, take a little time. Give a boy a Bible, teach him how to pray. Thank the good Lord at the end of the day. Wake him up early, teach him how to work, spend his own money, show him what it's worth, yeah. He's gonna know it all, he'll slip and he'll fall, he'll pick himself up, amen. Yes sir, yes ma'am, show him how to be a man, so one of these days he can. Buy a girl flowers, take her to a show, treat her like a lady, and maybe down the road, you'll give a girl a diamond, put it on her hand, watch her and her mama, making all the plans, then get a little house on a little piece of land, build a little family, so maybe one of these days he can, yeah. Buy a boy a baseball, get him outside, get his hands dirty, take a little time, give a boy a Bible, teach him how to pray, thank the good Lord at the end of the day. Yeah,